Welcome to What the Tech. This is the show that slices right through the corporate PR and all that tech hype to give you the analysis you actually need. No fluff, no filler. We just get straight to the facts and what they really mean. All right, let's get into this.
Yeah, you heard that correctly. This isn't some backroom negotiation tactic. That is a direct quote from Tesla's own board chair, Robin Denholm. Let's call it what it is. It's a threat. Plain and simple. Approve this absolutely insane pay package for Elon Musk, or your superstar CEO might just pack his bags and leave. This right here sets the stage for one of the biggest corporate showdowns of the year.
So what exactly is this ultimatum? We're not just talking about a big bonus here. We are talking about a number that has 12, count them, 12 zeros after it. Let's break down what this thing really is.
Just let that number sink in for a second. Almost $1 trillion. This isn't a pay package. It's a figure that would completely dwarf the GDP of most countries on Earth. The scale of it is almost impossible to wrap your head around, and it's all tied to some goals that are, well, let's just say they're incredibly ambitious. Some might even call them fantasy.
So how is Musk supposed to earn this unbelievable prize? Well, the board has laid out what they're calling moonshot milestones. And I mean, moonshot is putting it lightly. We're not just talking about pumping up the market cap to a staggering $8.5 trillion. No. The plan also depends on delivering 1 million Optimus robots and getting 1 million robotaxis out on the road. These aren't just stretching the truth. These are massive, speculative gambles on technologies that are, to be perfectly honest, nowhere near proven.
So how in the world is the board trying to sell this to its shareholders? Let's take a look at the official story they're spinning. This is the argument they want you to buy.
Okay, so according to the board, this is all about keeping the genius in the building. Their argument is that Musk is absolutely essential for Tesla's future, especially as the company tries to transform itself from being just another car company into a full-blown AI and robotics giant. The pitch is simple. You gotta pay the visionary to see the vision through, especially right now, at what they're calling an important inflection point for artificial intelligence. You know, the classic indispensable founder play.
All right, that's the official story. Now it's time for the What the Tech reality check. Because once you start peeling back the layers of all that corporate jargon, you find something else. Something that looks a whole lot less like a bonus and a whole lot more like a straight-up power play.
And this brings us to the absolute core question of this entire deal. Is Tesla's board really just trying to motivate its CEO with a giant, comically large paycheck? Or is there something deeper, something more strategic going on here?
And there's your answer. This package is a tool for a corporate takeover, just cleverly dressed up to look like a performance incentive. And this is the most important part. It's not about the money, it's about control.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. The board is pitching this as a way to retain a key CEO and reward performance. But the reality? It's a massive consolidation of power. This whole thing is engineered to give Musk a nearly 25% ownership stake in the company. That secures him decisive voting influence and basically lets him take total corporate control, all while watering down any semblance of good governance. Now, this obsession with control comes with some huge risks. So let's deconstruct the dangers that are baked right into this deal. We're talking about a toxic mix of financial fantasy, governance failure, and one man's push for absolute power. Just look at this chart. Right now, Musk owns about 13% of Tesla. If this package passes, that stake skyrockets to around 25%. Now, that is not just a little bump. In the world of corporate governance, a 25% stake held by a single founder CEO, that's a fortress. It gives him an insane amount of leverage to push his own agenda, shield himself from any criticism, and completely sideline the board.
And hey, if you don't believe me, just listen to the board chair herself. In this moment of just unbelievable honesty, Robin Denholm admitted it on TV. She said, it's less about compensation and more about the voting influence. They're not even trying to hide it. They are openly asking shareholders to give up their own power just to keep Musk around.
So, how do they justify all this? With something we can only describe as a strategic fantasy. The goals, like an $8.5 trillion market cap, they're not tied to any real-world success. Not profits, not production efficiency. They're tied to stock market hype. This encourages optics games and accounting tricks to pump the stock price instead of building real, sustainable, long-term value.
And the long-term risks for the company here they're severe. This kind of power concentrated in one person's hands completely undermines the board that's supposed to be providing oversight. It makes the entire company hostage to one person's whims and, frankly, his public antics. This could easily cause top talent to leave, it invites a ton of regulatory scrutiny, and worst of all, it basically institutionalizes fragility right into the core of the company.
So, after we cut through all the hype and all the PR spin, where does that leave us? Well, it's time for the final verdict on this trillion-dollar ultimatum.
For any shareholder watching this, the path forward should be crystal clear. The analysis points to a very hard-nosed approach. First, vote no on anything that hands over this much voting power. Second, demand milestones that are tied to verifiable results, not stock market fantasies. Third, insist on real safeguards for governance. And for God's sake, start putting together a succession plan that doesn't depend on a personality cult.
So what's the real takeaway here? This whole saga is a trade. Shareholders are being asked to trade away corporate democracy, to trade away accountability and stable governance. And what do they get in return? A high-stakes, all-or-nothing bet on one charismatic but deeply unpredictable founder. It's a dangerous, dangerous bargain that puts the entire future of the company on the line.
This is the kind of no BS analysis you're not going to get anywhere else. If you believe in cutting through the hype to get to what really matters, make sure you like this and subscribe to WtT. We'll see you next time.